Yo, 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 yo.
Oh,
Ladies and
shit.
gentlemen,
It's party time.
boys and girls, welcome back to the Producer Lounge, your weekly music production broadcast, brought to you by Always 400. Folks, it's episode 133. Got a big day.
Ooh, 133.
Ooh.
We have Tasba on the pod today.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh, shoot.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
very happy to be here.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
thanks for
Let's go.
coming.
We're happy you're here.
Made a journey all the way fucking up here.
Yep.
Way out of the way, but
All the way up to Greendale.
all the way to Greendale.
That's where we tell the internet we live.
Yeah.
Is
Greendale?
in Greendale,
Greendale. Some
Colorado.
made
Greendale,
up-
Colorado.
Is that actually like a place?
We're near.
No.
It's
Oh, wait, is that a place?
It's where we live.
I mean, yeah, of
There you
course.
go.
It's where we
Yep.
live.
It exists in this universe that we're in
Yeah.
while we're live. Folks,
Is it a place?
we're
We're there.
yeah. I don't know. Does that rubber ducky exist? Probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does that vase
Oh my
exist?
God. I just realized. I
Boss.
thought so when I saw you guys' videos. I thought it was like real. The background.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
right,
it is real,
right.
right?
It's real.
Like, you can turn around and see it right there. It's right there.
Can I hit this bong right here?
Yeah, but we got to do it off camera because Twitch terms
Yeah,
of service.
They frown on that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, they will.
Yeah.
No, they're fine if it's an 18 and over stream.
But this isn't.
Oh.
This is a free.
It's an 18 and under stream.
Yes, it's an 18 and under stream.
Weird.
This is a fucking 18
Wow, that
and
got
under
very
stream.
weird very fast.
Yeah, so we're gonna play around with rubber duckies all episode and talk about compressors. That's how it's a
Oh my
18 and
God.
under.
So much fun.
Honestly, that sounds like a pretty good time. I like rubber duckies and compressors. You know what I'm saying? So this is how the podcast usually goes.
Wait. There's
Um,
there's Duck Buddy, which is a rubber ducky compressor that Vic always talks about. So
That is. I need to
Oh.
look that up. Speaking of
It's a ducking.
yeah, it's not a
plug-in.
compressor.
Yeah.
speaking of
Some Ableton Max for live rack.
volume automating plugins, I guess
Oh.
you could say.
Compressors.
Right. Or any.
Nope. I tried to hit it.
Wrong one.
I missed.
Because it's Cyber Week, we're gonna jump in real quick
Oh, yes.
into
Deals?
some deals real quick
Oh.
that people should be aware of. Because you can't forget, folks. This is a big week for plugin lovers.
Right.
Shaper Box bundle on Plugin Boutique is $69, and
Ayo.
Isn't it like $250 before? That's a pretty good deal.
Plugin Boutique offers a free plugin with every qualifying purchase. So
Oh.
if you go here, and even if you get, I mean, it's got to be a qualifying purchase. I don't know which ones those are in particular, but getting a BOGO is always nice.
True.
Buy one, get one's great.
RC20.
Sound
I
toys.
bet you that one's in it.
Entire thing off, $250. These are huge.
Very nice.
Some Bundies in there.
Yeah.
Everything from Shaper Box for $90.
Melodyne.
RC20.
Oh,
right there.
Melodyne would be fun. I've always wanted to try Melodyne. Do you have Melodyne?
I don't.
I
What
don't
is it?
either. It's like an
It's
auto-tune
it is-
plugin.
It is the auto-tune.
It's
Yeah.
John's favorite
Oh.
new thing that he likes
Yeah.
to talk about with
Yeah.
us. We won't discuss it because I don't know if he wants to
But-
or not. But
200. Yeah, we're not going to give away his secret, but $200 for that is crazy. It's normally $400, so it's
Oh my God.
50%.
Jesus Christ.
These plugins can be expensive.
I know.
No, it's
I
I mean, that is
Absurd.
that's like the top of the line tuning
Yeah, that's
plugin for
The
vocals.
best of the best. You can get cheaper auto-tunes.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's like once you have it, it's like you have it forever. You know.
I have it forever. Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're fucking charging you monthly.
I wonder what T-Pain
Only.
uses. He's got to use something that has like some weird exaggerated. Well, yeah, but I guess he could maybe do that in Melodyne. I don't know. I've never used it.
Yeah, you can exaggerate in any auto-tune plugin.
So based off what I see here, with you when you buy one, you get either drum synth, Mellow 2, Dawsome, Vision, or LA2A, which go for Vision. If you're going to get a free plugin, go with a spectrum analyzer that's by the pros.
Oh, that's from Noisia?
Yeah.
Oh, they
This is-
partnered with Plugin Boutique? That's cool.
Yeah, this is their light version, but it's still huge. Like Vision 4X. Mine's called 4K, I think. But
So
maybe
this
it's
gives
the
you
light.
like
It just gives you like 2 windows, I think.
similar
instead of 4.
to what you see on our screen up at the top, with the waveforms going by and your frequency
Whoa, it's
spectrum,
moving around.
all that stuff. It's similar to that stuff,
Yeah.
but better.
Yeah. This is a smaller running one that's less accurate. But mini meters, which that one is I think it's like $10. It's free, but you pay $10 to get ads off.
Oh, okay.
I think I might be wrong about that, but someone on the internet can complain. That shit's super nice. We just love spectrums and any kind of visual feedback we think is good for people to. You shouldn't rely on it, but the sooner you can get used to looking at professional sounding mixes on your own visual thing that you're used to and that you use a lot whilst in the DAW anyways, then you can just get closer to a professional sounding track faster.
And you
without
can learn
having-
weird things about certain tracks just from
Correct.
viewing those.
Right.
Like, oh, they went fully mono
Totally.
here, or
You
they
can even-
tucked the sub here for this one moment, or
Right.
something.
You can use it to work on your ears,
Yeah.
you know?
I still gotta say I love Noisia and everything that they do, but Flux for my like visual
too
stuff
expensive?
is my
Yeah.
my little baby.
Yeah, well,
It is very.
if you didn't
expensive,
get a crazy deal on it,
though. Yeah, I got an
then,
insane deal.
Is
for
it actually
sure.
better?
no.
Yes, it has rainbows.
I'm gonna trust this
Noisia's
guy,
is
to be
just
honest.
blue.
No, Noisia, you can change the colors.
Can you? Oh shit, to rainbows?
I think so. I think it has a heat map.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I just don't like
Okay.
the rainbows.
That
It's
was
just the rainbows
obviously
are too
they
distracting.
made it to where you could change colors.
I didn't know they did because
they
all I've ever seen was
must.
the blue, like default blue.
Oh, okay.
So now on Plugin Alliance, we have a couple more
Couple deals on Plugin
juicy
Alliance.
deals. These guys usually have a little bit more of your mixing kind of stuff, but this is the one we're gonna look at here. If it decides to load. Now this is the single version. This is not the.
I didn't even know they made it anymore. That's sick.
Yep. $40
That
Wow.
shit
for this
is
250.
sauce.
This is the best distortion unit
I use this
in my opinion.
constantly.
You guys
Out there.
basically talk about this every episode.
Yeah, the black
So-
box is huge.
So you guys
Yeah.
recommend it?
Yes.
100%.
I use this
I
on
might
the
even
distortion
just buy
unit.
this. Yeah.
I use it on every song.
Oh
Every
yeah.
song.
Oh yeah. For sure.
It has to at least be on one of my either pre-master or master chain in some degree. Whether it's only at like 20% wet, you know, but like it just it gives the balls, you know, for lack of a better word. Like if you're trying to make something and you need it just to have a little more girth.
Oh, it'll give you
warmth.
balls and a lot of balls too, if you want it to.
Oh man, this thing
You crank
pumps.
those 2 center knobs on either side of the.
Can you play the video?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
goes
Guys,
crazy.
welcome to this little overview for
Oh, what?
Blackbox Analog
Yeah.
Designs HG2 from Brainworks.
Welcome back, bro.
The HG2 is
Brainworks.
a fantastic little
Folks on YouTube, sorry if you're not going to be able to hear this part. YouTube sucks.
and has the remarkable ability to just make everything sound fantastic that you put through this.
True.
It really
That's
is
right.
a great sounding little unit. I use this consistently in so many
Consistently.
projects these days. The primary reason for me reaching for this normally is on the master bus or on a mix bus as a little bit of saturation
That's what I'm saying.
for the overall mix or in mastering situations as well. But I have actually used this plenty on single channel material quite often as well.
Here, we have a better option here.
Yeah, we'll just pull it up in the actual DAW.
Nope.
No,
I
I just
forgot.
said nope as in I don't want to.
that's not what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
I forgot that it has the what did they call it? Pentode and triode
Mhm.
distortion. So is that like literally just targeting the 5th harmonic and 3rd harmonic of something?
I don't know. I read it once. What it does, it has something to do with the way it's hitting the tubes.
Okay.
They're an algorithm for the tube. Obviously, it's not an actual tube.
Mhm.
But Yeah, it's
That's cool.
we'd
That's
have to
really
look
fun.
it up. But here we can just give you an idea.
Oops.
We're gonna go with the mid-side version though, because the mid-side version is
Rude.
It's a professional
saucy.
podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's just get a pad.
Pad, huh?
Distant Angels.
Let's go.
Yeah, because we want to be able to see how it not only warms this, but also will destroy it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this is just a dual version of it. It gives
Yeah.
you left and right as an option. It'll
Actually-
also do like mid-side.
Do I have the?
But
Just have
my
the
old
website.
one doesn't work anymore.
Oh, I think I. No.
There it is.
Yeah, it'll still work. So, first off, you got your in and out, which you got to turn on, which only is affecting,
This
Here.
little saturation
Yeah.
section.
and it starts at 50. So you can hear it already make it quite a bit
A little
louder
louder.
there. You have an alternate tube, which is nice. It's a little bit of a, I don't know, it's a little bit crispier. Here we can. It just kind of adds a little bit more crunch. What I don't like about this plugin is you can't like double click or click.
Oh, to make it go back.
Yeah, or
Oh, yeah.
control click to
Sucks.
make it go back. But
Oh,
yeah, it's
every
fine.
plugin needs that.
I know. And
You
how
can
is
type it in, though.
51% the same or happening
That's
to
extra
us?
work typing it in. You know?
Yeah, what are we gonna type?
No.
Dude, we're in the
You're
flow
right,
state,
you're
dude.
right,
You
you're
can't
right.
type right now.
I'm in the flow state. I can't type.
So then up here we have
Surfing the fucking musical waves.
a low, flat, and a high. So low it kind of puts a shelf or a low pass before it hits these two tubes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Flat is just, it's going to let everything through. High makes a high pass and lets only the highs go through. But these are where like the sauce is. These things do some wild, and I'm pretty sure they're in series.
Yeah, because you kind of need to turn one up to get a lot of love from the other one in a way. But it's distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
So
distortion
what does it mean,
plugin.
the
It's sick.
pentode and tri.
Yeah, right?
Let's see
Yeah.
if we can. Oops, sorry, folks.
It's
We
gotta
go back to our
be-
website here.
I was gonna hope that maybe they had just the link to their website, but Black Box Analog Design. They have their own website just called Black Box Analog. The boys out here.
Blackboxanalog.com.
Because it is an actual unit.
Check it out.
It's an actual unit that they sell, and then they make a plug-in version of it, which is sick.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
you
the
get the
money,
rack, baby.
I would have this rack unit.
Whoa.
Dude.
How much is it?
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Probably
It's
so
a
much.
lot. We can
Too
find
much
that
for all
out.
of us.
Yeah.
So the HG2
1,200 or something.
uses custom input transformers to feed two paths. The main signal path travels through
You're like, what's
the
happening?
GU8 pentode tube stage and then drives into the triode stage. So that's the top one. That's the main signal path.
Yeah.
So the main one is the top one up here, and then this one you have to turn on and off to make it happen. And this might happen after these. I can't remember what the signal flow is.
Okay.
Resulting in everything from subtle harmonics to full-on saturation, as we just saw. Also fed from the input transformer is a parallel signal path that utilizes a set of 12 AT7 tubes specifically for harmonics and saturation. This parallel saturation circuit is outfitted with a three-way frequency select. Oh, maybe that's what I'm talking about. Switch that allows the user to choose the frequency content returning from the circuit. The low position saturates just the low mids and subs. The flat position saturates full bandwidth, and high position saturates the high mids and high frequencies. The result is an ability to add top end to dull tracks, enhance low end, and enhance an and add energy to the entire signal. The saturation knobs allow the user to control how much of the processed parallel signal is fed into the main signal before hitting the pentode stage. Yeah, so this one's first, and then this.
That makes sense because
I don't know why they started with this and then added this. If
Right.
this is first, but I guess this is the main, and then you add this into it if you want.
Okay.
It's such an interesting.
It's basically like $3,000 or more to buy the hardware unit.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! What?
That's just like one thing. Just
Right.
like just
Right, one unit.
distortion.
Yeah,
Right.
just
One
distortion.
beautiful.
This is an expensive
Ugh.
crunch
life
boy.
you've
I know.
entered into. I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know it, but I know it now. Hence, by all this gear, this is years.
Yeah.
I don't know if
What's
I can
up, Twimpy
justify.
98? Love to see you first time in chat.
98.
Oh,
He
welcome
says
to the
just
party.
add a kick and sidechain equals done. He's not wrong. So there's
Yeah.
a bypass. There's a little meter in the middle. There's also an air over here. You can add the air.
A little bit of a high shelf.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Air switch adds a subtle top-end lift, and the air tube button switches between two different tubes, the pair of circuit. Switching between the tube allows the user to select between differently voiced tubes, different types of saturation, instantly.
Wow.
True.
So it does not tell us anything. I'm guessing the pentode.
Yeah, that was the whole
I
point.
mean,
of-
there's a manual. We could always pull it up, but that's a.
I'm assuming
nother-
it's marketing to some degree.
You think so?
Maybe there's some reason for them to call it that, but like,
There's got to be. There's got to be. In my mind, what I'm imagining is like if we have the
Ooh,
harmonic
look, signal flow,
spectrum,
nice.
they're
nice.
targeting the distortion based off of like the third harmonic and the fifth, right? Because that would make a different sound from everything, or give you a little different tone. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's just some other
I
thing.
mean, that kind of makes sense, though.
Right? That would make
I
sense.
feel like, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like pushing your little harmonic
This isn't-
into the saturation.
Isn't pent 5?
Yeah.
Try
but
3?
Exactly.
You'll notice
exactly.
here that they capitalize them, and they just say pentode amplification stage, and a triode amplification stage. It still doesn't tell us like that. That's why I'm thinking it's just a marketing. Like it could just be the name of those tubes.
That would honestly bum me out.
As everybody can tell, we make electronic music. We don't have a bunch of outboard gear that we know the specifics of the difference between pentode and triode tubing.
We're in the box.
Saturators.
Yeah, because like somebody who
Yeah.
knows tubes might be like, "Oh, I know it's just this."
Oh, I love
Yep,
I
yep.
love this thing.
I know. I love
Whatever's going on
Oh.
right here looks great.
wiring diagram.
Oh
Oh,
god,
they got a fucking
That's
schematics right
fucking
there. That's
vector
sick.
art. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
that looks insane.
Here's your tubes.
Imagine the dude who's like, I want that as a poster in my studio.
I want that as a poster.
You're
in my
you're that
studio.
guy, yeah.
Oh, low key.
And everybody's like, "What's that?"
That would
It's like
be
the
sick
black
as
box.
fuck.
Here's behind the front panel.
Oh, you get all of them. You get all
Interesting.
the different angles or whatever it's giving you, and then you frame that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Sure,
Well,
sure.
Blow it up.
Yeah.
So that's this bad boy, which is one of the best plugins I've ever bought in my
On
entire
sale
life.
for $40 right now. Go get it.
It's crazy.
Right. And you guys have literally been talking about this on the pod for
Years.
years,
Yep.
since day one.
Yep. Goddamn right.
Black
That
box,
shit
right?
Yeah.
is
Black
the
box.
shit.
Yeah, you're allowed to take notes. take and come home, whatever you want. And this will probably be on sale all week, folks. So, and $40, that's such a huge. And it's good to start with this one to kind of wrap your brain around before you move on to the
The bad boy.
the
The big boy.
the dual sport.
Twin turbo.
Yeah, the dual sport's nice because you basically get a mid side. So you have your mid or your sides and your
Oh,
mid.
that's fun.
So you can saturate like. Here, let's get rid of this guy. Just push the sides
Push the sides up, yeah.
and just brighten the mids. and you get more options on your low, mid, and high with this
True.
one as well, which is pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Gives
Yeah.
you those different frequency options per what you have selected there.
So was that a different plugin or was that the same one?
It's the same one. It's just the big brother.
Oh,
It's not the
Basically.
one that's on sale,
okay.
but
But it
it's
like,
badass.
Yeah.
Worth.
Yeah, 100% worth. I don't think it's on. I bought that one on sale at some point, and it was somewhere around a ridiculous sale similar to this. I think it was $80, and I was like, from like $400. Like, are you kidding me?
Dang. So it's like double.
Yeah,
Double the
yeah.
price.
But
Take that.
I had this one for years. I just got the mid-side variant last year, I think.
Something like that.
And yeah, I like this. This thing's the boss. It's one of the best saturation plugins. You can use it for sound design. You can use it for mixing. You can use it for subtle warmth. You can use it for a little bit of movement on things. You can automate anything you want. It's the shit.
Sounds like it.
Goddamn right.
Mm.
We got some homework, Tanya.
Yeah.
Time to.
Definitely.
All right.
I still want to know about that triode and
I know.
I know. I'm sorry.
Pentode or
I'm sorry.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it means
Yeah.
anything. But if you look up black, maybe you can Google it later. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back on the
Yeah.
show. Let us know.
After you've mastered it, and be like, "Yo, here's how it goes, boys."
I have a feeling it's either gimmicky on their part or gimmicky on the tube's part.
Yeah, I would imagine it has to do with the type of tube that
That's-
it's supposed to be
Right. That's what I'm
using. Something
I can
like
see
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, John, if you're in chat, you could chime in at any moment.
he
Mr.
already would have.
who owns tubes
Right. He totally would have.
Yeah.
or owns a tube.
He's not listening.
No.
So Tanya, what have you been up to as far as like your production? Have you like been trying to learn some new techniques or anything, or just you focusing on like songwriting, or what's up with all that?
yeah, right now I'm working on it's a little more on the organic. It's a little more tribally, but I'm doing
Ooh.
like a collab with one of my boyfriend's dad's friend, and he does like drums, so there's live drums
Oh,
in it.
sick.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I
That's
was gonna bring
cool.
my laptop so we could like look at it, but I'm actually really excited about it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's something I'm working on. I think right now I'm more focusing on, since with like organic house music, it's a lot of percussion. You need to focus on the drums, on the toms, little shakers, little things like that, you know?
Yep.
So just getting better at making my own little like drum loops, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Love to hear that.
Yeah.
Love to
That's
hear
fucking
that.
sick.
Making your own is the way to go.
I never stop focusing on drums.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Right.
That's that. I keep going back to being like, I should pay attention to my drums a little bit more.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I'll do seasons of just working on the drums.
Right.
All right.
yeah,
Right.
months at a time, just like my snares are better. You know? It's basically like what
I
it comes down
think.
to. Yeah.
I've heard you a few times now say that like organic house kind of thing. I love that concept. Does that literally just mean that like tribally feel, or like when you're saying organic, like actually using like live instrumentation,
I think,
or just the
a l-
feeling?
I think a little bit of everything.
A little bit of all that. Yeah.
But when I think of organic house music, have you heard of like organic house?
No, I've never heard of that until
Oh,
like when
really?
we were kicking it and you were like organic house, and I was like, that sounds sick.
What are some?
I love
big,
that.
Yeah.
What are some big artists you would say? Like I would think Black Coffee, is he organic house? Even if he's not like recording his stuff, it's very percussionist central. And like there's
close.
not a lot of synths happening most of the time, but it is more housey than it is like deep housey, I guess.
Yeah. Do you know like
Because
who
it's more
Lee?
Afro house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Lee Burridge. Do you
Yeah,
know Lee
yeah,
Burridge?
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
He would be more organic house. Like he's like the person that made like All Day I Dream. I don't know if you guys are
Right.
familiar with like All Day I Dream.
I'm not.
But yeah. So like that, it's a record label.
My girlfriend loves them.
All Day I Dream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'm sure you
Let's
guys
go.
would get along immediately.
that's
Right.
that's my goal, to be on All Day I Dream one day.
Oh, sick.
Fuck yeah.
So that's why I'm focusing a lot on the percussion and the drums, because that's what makes, I feel like, the organic feel of it, just like the groove of it. And, you know, I just don't feel like it gets like boring because like you can change it up and like
Right. There's so many.
different variations you could do.
Right.
You could take the kick out, bring it back in, and that just like, oh my god, I love when people do that when they
I know. Me
kick
too.
it
Oh,
out
yeah.
and bring it back in.
Me too.
Oh, so good.
Classic
there's-
move where you just let it float for a second.
Or
and comes
just
back.
or just the
Yeah.
hi hat, and you just take it
Or
away,
just the hat,
and then
yeah.
you bring in a different one. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's the subtle moves. And with something like that genre, if you have bongos, if you have toms, if you have shakers, if you have marimbas, if you have like 17 different percussion things happening, even if they're in subtle, slight moments, any little variation in each of them is going to add to that complexity over the course of 3 minutes, so it doesn't feel like it's been stagnated at all. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like the bongos only come in and only do this one little thing every 4 bars, and you never get it back. Kind of thing, which is pretty fun.
Yup.
I'm imagining when I think of organic house, I just have a picture in my head, but it's like it would be like very rhythmic-y house music, but with like a lot of Foley kind of things going on in it a little bit.
There's
Right.
also a lot of like nature sounds. Like you'll hear like birds, or like some people incorporate like. Well, I like to incorporate a lot of like ocean sounds, or like
Sick.
like
Chanting.
sometimes there's
Oh,
chanting.
Love me a good chant.
Chanting, yeah, spiritual.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Lots
Yeah.
of
Austin's butthole
For
is
like-
puckering as we speak.
for lack of a better way to describe it, but like kids playing. Like a lot of times you'll get like
Well, we're
like-
going organic, not innocent.
No, we actually.
But they can go hand
there
in hand.
is like an
Yeah.
element of whether it is like a recording of kids playing or not, or if it's just the sound of like people chanting in an interesting way, and they've like layered them all together, but you can get kind of that aesthetic out of the track
Yeah.
where it just kind of feels like a playground with theme music kind of happening, which is like really calming, and it isn't going to stay stagnant for too long because there's so many organic moments happening.
It's a vibe.
Right. It's
Yeah.
100% a vibe.
Yeah.
Well, that just reminds me of one of the tracks I did. It actually has like kids in the background. It's
Let's
called
go.
Inner Child.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
The turtleneck gives me powers, folks.
But yeah, it reminded me of that because it's more of like that organic feel. But I
Yeah.
have like, there's like during the breakdown, it's like those kids and you can hear them.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that youthful, like childlike.
Yep. I had we have a lo-fi project that we did during the pandemic, and I have a track. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it has like kids playing in the background the whole time.
Oh.
And it just kind of gets sidechained to everything, so it kind of like disappears behind a filter and some other things. But yeah, it like comes back in like the breakdown and like lets you kind of have like a moment, which is it's a vibe, 100% a vibe.
It's a very
Yeah.
different thing than Victor and what's his face?
Alba,
Albie.
Albie. Yeah.
Alex.
shout out Alba.
Oh, their sample that they got.
Yeah, they made a dubstep
that's-
track,
that's
and they
right.
recorded their neighbors having a shouting match, and they used that for their fucking
Again,
fully.
a vibe, and
It is a vibe.
kinda
It is organic.
It kind of contributes
Yeah.
to the high energy of the song.
Yeah.
When there's just like,
It's just like you fucking
Yeah.
You're just like
Adding
Jesus,
tension.
and they're like looping it.
yeah,
And then the drop.
Fucking hilarious.
yeah, and the drop-
Exactly.
hilarious. Shout out Alex and Victor.
The opposite of children playing.
I feel like we're all, maybe not all, but a lot of artists are trying to go for that like natural feeling where things just flow nicely and feel, natural and organic is the best way to put it. It feels like real because it's so easy. That's something we talk about all the time on the pod is things can get like really stagnant and like
synthetic.
digital and
Yeah.
synthetic, like so
Right.
easy.
You definitely do not want your shit to sound digital.
Yeah, the
Right.
meme, the
Right.
meme we always bring up is like 40 years ago. All the engineers and producers were doing everything in their power to get things to stay in time. and to like fit on a grid, so to speak.
Yep.
And now
and not be noisy.
and not be noisy
and be hitting fucking perfect
and now
together.
Everything we do as electronic producers in the DAW is try and make things noisy and be off the grid and feel organic.
Right,
It's
right.
just like
It's the
direct-
opposite job
Yeah, it's
of what they
hilarious.
used to do.
So you were
Pretty
talking about
wild.
drums. How do you make your like melodic components and bass and things like that feel organic to you?
Well, like I use a lot of like pads and airy. Like I try to make a lot of atmosphere.
Yeah.
I love
Huge.
atmosphere.
Yeah, that's a big part with organic house music.
Okay.
I use it's called Cube, I think, but yeah, it's like such a cool plugin.
Cube. I've never heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh.
Sorry,
Yeah, so
I was making it atmospheric.
Mm-hmm, like that, and just add a bunch of like reverb and just
Really kind of
make
fill
it
it out.
big space.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I like to just like layer a bunch of things. So like I'll do like a chord and then maybe like do an octave up and then yeah, I don't know how I make music. I just put a bunch of stuff together and then
That's
it
fair.
works out sometimes it doesn't.
Isn't that all we're really doing at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right?
There is a
Just
lot of that.
Throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah. I mean, of course there's like mechanical things and like I need to learn more about like EQing and just all the technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know some basics, but yeah, I need to get more deep into that. But that's like a whole other world too.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, we equate
really
it to
is.
like, what's the term in hiking? A false summit.
Right.
So when you're hiking up a trail in the hills, you're like, oh, there's the top of the hill, and you get to it and you realize it's not the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's basically, I mean, that's art in general, but
Yeah.
it really, when you're in the grind of it making tunes, you're like, oh, I made a tune, this is the best tune I've ever made. And then you watch one YouTube video where a guy's like, this is why equalizers exist. And you're like, oh, I'm an idiot. I don't know how to do any of this. This is all so complicated. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just, I've been doing this for 9 years, and that happens every day still.
Mm-hmm.
Every day
Right.
I'll be like, oh, I need to be doing that. I'm so bad at this. It's just like, it doesn't really go away. You just get more tools for your tool belt as you're making art, and you can just like,
And you get better at learning what tool is better for a specific
Correct.
moment
exactly.
or something.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good place to be if you're trying to figure some shit out. Is there anything you're toiling with, trying to understand a little bit right now in the production side of things?
I just want to learn as much as possible, honestly.
Fair enough.
Right.
Let's go.
Because I believe like how you were saying, like there's always something, or like
Mm-hmm.
you can always just learn more. So I'm always open and
Mhm.
always
Well, yeah,
trying to
that's-
learn as much as possible.
Nice. Yeah.
But I feel like I benefit more from like people, like me watching someone do it or them being with me. Because I've tried like tutorials and I just don't get a lot of stuff. Like it doesn't really retain.
Right.
in my
I
brain.
get that.
That's fair.
So yeah, like so a lot of the stuff that I've learned and like music that I've done, it's just been me experimenting most of the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So,
some of
yeah.
the best way is when you're alone. As much as you like want somebody to be there showing you things, sometimes you
Yeah.
just have to learn how to not use a compressor to
Yeah.
come up with a weird sound that nobody's ever heard before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, I just used a compressor like this. And somebody's like, oh, shit, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's great not to know the rules, but also that's some of the best ways to learn the rules is by breaking them. And you're like, oh, I see why everybody says this about this. I get
Yeah,
it. I
Because
see.
this does
Right.
this.
Right.
All those dudes and
Yeah.
people went through it before you.
And I'm definitely on your side of the fence with that, where I'll learn much faster and more thoroughly if somebody's there to like put hands on it and like kind of give some kind of context. But what I found personally is when I'm watching a tutorial or something on YouTube, one, it has to be the right tutorial. I don't like
Yeah.
anything that's like here's my process into songwriting, or like anything that's really opinion based or very the way they learned it kind of thing. Like I want presets. Like I want them to be like, this is how you make this bass from this. I'm like, all right, sick. I'm going to watch this whole thing and just copy. I'm just going to copy the whole thing and then save it as my own preset and then start fucking from there.
Yeah.
And that's the best way that I learn is I like taking what somebody did in a video, whether it's like I used 3 OTTs and then I made this rack. I'll show you how to make it. And I just copy everything and then I close it before he starts to explain anything. And I just start fucking around.
Yeah, and you're like, let's just take
That's-
that as far as we can.
Yeah, that's usually where I go because I don't really care about people's opinion.
That's
most of the
interesting.
time.
I'm almost on the other side then, where it's like I love like the technical aspect and like seeing exactly how like an artist I like does something, but I almost prefer having them tell me like
Why?
and almost just like the philosophy behind it, where it's like the point we're trying to do is just make something evolving and one note is never the same or something like that.
Sure.
Because then you can take that concept and run with it in your own new
Well,
way.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's got its own mechanics, just like my way. You're
Yeah,
still
exactly,
taking
yeah.
something and running.
Yeah. Whereas like I've watched tutorials where it's like, this is exactly how you make this kind of sound. And then for the next 6 months in my head, I'm just like, you can't do anything but the way they did it.
Right,
Like
which is why I don't do that
that's
now.
how they did it. Yeah.
Right, which is why I don't do that now because I know how much it influences my creative process
Nice.
when I
nice.
hear other people's opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Everyone's got to find their own like path to it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, we all have different ways of learning, different ways of
Sure.
doing everything. I think at the end of the day, as long as it sounds good, it's going to sound good. And if people like it, then,
Right.
100%.
and if you're making like a difference and making an impact, I feel like that's even better too.
Sure.
100%.
Sure.
Right?
Mhm.
And I mean, we're all in a grind.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what a lot of people don't understand when they try to like make art is they're like, oh, I'm just going to make this one little art thing. It's like, no, you got to figure out how to make that one little art thing.
Ugh.
And then you'll make that one little art thing.
Yeah.
That might take a year.
The steps to get there. Yeah.
Like it's, if you want to make cool and like good art that you feel proud of, it might take you longer than you expect.
Mm-hmm.
But it is 100% worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
no matter what, if you're trying to learn how to like blow glass just because you're like, I just want to like make shot glasses or whatever. Like it can't be that hard. It's like, well, it's probably going to
Or
take
cool
you 2
little
years
like pendants or
to
something.
like figure everything out and like get all the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're there, you're going to be relatively jaded probably because of all of the process. But if you can hunker down and then start like experimenting and creating, that's where the fun starts. Well, not only starts, but continues because learning a process, I think, is also super fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
know?
the thing that always like weeds out the people who like aren't actually like the artist archetype or whatever, or the people who really want it is like, if you get discouraged in your first like year or two, like then obviously like this wasn't for you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And that's
doing
fine.
whatever thing you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah. Like spend some time and like if you're like, oh, I hate this 3 months in, like this is just annoying
Right.
and dumb to me. Like
Good thing you
fucking
didn't.
do something different.
Good thing you didn't pay $800 for Ableton.
Yeah, but then you like you find those people who are like, oh, I don't care. Like I knew this was going to be part of the grind, like
Right.
learning music and
Right.
learning art. Like of course it's going to be hard as fuck forever, and I have to learn constantly. Like those are always the people who just push and get better and better and develop more and more.
Quick reply here to Twimpy98. We do a few like feedback streams every so often. If you type !Discord in the chat, we will announce when we're doing feedback shows, and then we will listen to all your tracks. Stuff.
Or if you want to send us some gear to review, go for it.
You could do that too.
You could just
you
hit
could
us up in the Discord.
Also, if you want to find these two on Instagram and send them like 10 tracks, they will happily just
luck finding
DM
me.
you back all the time.
You can also just throw your stuff in the Discord, and people will listen to it and give you feedback and stuff if you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be on stream.
Yeah, but definitely just
True.
spam their Instagram with feedback
No,
stuff.
Don't do that.
do that.
You don't even know my Instagram.
I love it. I love it. Austin's like, their Instagrams, not his.
Them
Theirs.
specifically, yeah.
Yeah, this is our weekly music production broadcast. Just so you know.
Yeah.
But feel free to hang out, ask questions.
Yeah.
I definitely remember when I was watching production videos, tutorials, people talking about music production, mixing, blah, 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 blah. Early on, I would be like, I don't understand what these guys are talking about. Like, it's not making much sense to me. And then years later, I would re-listen to like similar things and be like, oh, I get all this. I understand all of this stuff now. It's nice and enlightening too to re-listen to someone talking about it because you're like, oh, okay, good. The thing that I am understanding now is actually a real thing that other people also understand.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
glad.
so much context you need alone fucking with a compressor to understand when people start talking about compressors on
Yep.
a video of any kind. Like if you've never seen a compressor and you watch a video on a compressor, someone's going to be like threshold, ratio, and you're like, wait, what?
And then
Like-
the worst part for me with like compression was like you don't really hear
You
like
do.
an extreme difference. You do now.
Just kidding. Yeah, no. At first you hear
But
nothing.
at first
other
you're
than it
like-
turning down.
Yeah,
You just
you're
hear
like,
it
oh,
turn down.
volume? That's dumb. I'm not going to use that. I want cool like tonal stuff that makes it sound interesting. And you don't get it in that way.
Right.
And all this speak of compressors, folks. We don't use compressors here at Always 400 or on the producer lounge. We use clippers and clippers only.
It's the way. It's the way.
Clippers are the way.
Clippers are the way. It's basically.
yeah.
I don't know if you know what
We don't
clippers. I'm
use
sure. It's
Compressors, we
So-
finesse.
a compressor. It is a automated gain reduction plugin. So as a signal comes in, if you tell it to turn down, once it hits this level, it will turn it down. Once enough signal comes in, and you tell it how fast to turn down by the attack and the
Release.
So thank you.
Once the sound hits the threshold, the attack tells it how long it takes for it to turn it back down to that point, and then the release is when the sound goes below the threshold, how long it takes for it to let it go back to normal or whatever.
So, and then you have a limiter, which is like an extreme version of that, where it's like if you put the threshold at a certain point, the limiter will say, okay, if volume comes to that point, it will not go past it. Quote, unquote.
Right.
No limiters are perfect. It will still let a tiny bit through because it's not a immediate attack, basically, because a limiter still will have an attack and release a lot of times, but it's just more of an intense brick shelf than a compressor is. Like a compressor is a nice curve as it tries to turn it down. A limiter is a little bit more of a shelf. And then clipper just buzz cuts the whole thing. So it's just a super intense limiter that has no attack, no release. It's just, if you reach this level, I will turn you to this level always, which results in distortion and saturation and a bunch of things. But if you know how to finesse it, you can clip everything all the way up into your master and have not too much perceivable distortion, and the song's going to be louder than the sun. You can push it.
The sun
so
is
loud.
pretty loud.
If you get close enough, and if there's atmosphere around,
Yeah.
you're
Well,
fucked.
there is no sound in space.
It's
so.
true.
Eardrums are bleeding and being completely
But yeah,
torn apart.
so there's those three levels of automated gain reduction, if you will.
Hey.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's many facets of this universe that I mean, personally, I like it. I'm a nerd, so like I like learning about things. So when I figure out something that I need to learn about, like EQ or something, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go and like really just research what an EQ is, what it does. There's a guy on YouTube. Shout
Steal that.
Yeah.
out Dan Worrell. He does a bunch of narrating for Fab Filter videos, but he has his own YouTube channel, and he explains the most technical side of a lot of things. But
In a really easy to understand way.
yeah, once you get to the point where you're trying to figure out, like, well, when do I use this certain button on this EQ that does something that I don't know? That's where a lot of like nerds at that level are going to come in handy, because they're like, oh, if you do that across a whole track, because we're in a digital universe, you're going to have all these artifacts with sound. That's why your song isn't sounding as clear as a professional one, because there's all these nuances to pay attention to get a professional level track.
You're
basically.
not oversampling.
Yeah, there's there's
the balances,
DC offsets. You know, you're over processing literally everything.
Yeah.
Like there's
your compressors are causing problems.
You have
don't know
compressors.
how compressors work.
Right.
Yeah, there's
compressors are notoriously hard to figure out.
yes, they are.
Yeah.
Which is why we kind of tell people on this channel, like, compressors are overrated. They were really good for analog style recording.
Yep.
And for slower, smoother music, I guess they're pretty advantageous. But for the most part, when it comes to the digital realm and the electronic music realm, the standards are set to a point where, like, you're not going to reach it unless you clip things.
Yeah.
Like things are just too loud, things are too clean. You can't,
And even within that,
can't
like
get that with a compressor.
Yeah. There's a time and place to use it for sure.
Totally.
But yeah, as far as like electronic music goes and like this loudness war we're in, like, clipping is apparently the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Compressors are
great.
really, really good for if you have something that is very dynamic in volume. So if you have like a vocal is a really good one, for instance, because people will be like, la, 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 you know, like they're not good at control. A lot of singers are not very good at controlling like their volume.
Yeah, what is
throughout
that
it?
What's like the fancy word for that?
Dynamics?
Dynamics.
What are we talking about?
I mean,
Like
diaphragm
I guess like dynamic.
diaphragm control.
Yeah.
But that, it is dynamics, basically. It's the fluctuation of volume across a signal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The difference between the moments and how loud they are and whatnot.
Right.
But sometimes you do want that, you know?
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
A little bit. Not a lot.
The
really,
contrast.
usually.
Not a lot. Unless you're doing like cinematic stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, for example, this podcast right here, when I edit it to put it on YouTube, I'm going to compress all of our vocals together so that when he just did that really loud thing, and when I talk back here, I'm going to compress those so those are going to be closer in range. So somebody listening at a low volume in their car will still be able to hear me when I'm quiet. And this isn't going to blow out their speakers.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that where like a compressor is going to come in handy, because
Which is super helpful.
Vocals distorted
In a tune, because you don't want something to be randomly spiking volume and hitting your limiter weird, and then your tune is getting like it's dancing around some loud thing that's happening in the moment.
Right. That's how you blow speakers by accident and stuff like that, is when it just hasn't been properly managed, basically.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I have to use the bathroom.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just down the hall to the left.
We're basically done here.
We are basically
Basically
done. If
Well,
you can
actually-
last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have one question before
Yes.
we end it that I want to ask you about. So something that's been on my mind a lot is you're
bathroom.
playing shows out a lot. How did you
Trip.
get your first show, and then how do you go about like getting shows now?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
My first show, my boyfriend is James Greb, and he's
Shout out James Greb.
Yeah, shout out to James Greb. He's a DJ and a music producer. He does his show series called Abstract House, and he's been doing it for a really long time. And when we first met, I was like just beginning my journey, and I wanted to take it serious, and he saw that and he booked me for one of his abstract shows. So that was the first time I got booked. And then after that, things just kept like coming up, and I guess people enjoyed like my sets and would reach out.
Fuck yeah.
Which
Okay.
is a really
Okay.
good sign. So honestly, like now, I'll have people reach out, or I'll reach out to them, and what I'm trying to do is do my own show series called Dream House. So it's
Oh, let's go.
bases like, it's focused on the organic, deep melodic side of house music, and it's very intentional. So a lot of my shows are it has a lot of intention. So I hand out like little cards in the beginning of the show with like a little message.
Oh, hell
and then
yes.
during my set, I'll have my good friend, she'll do like vocals for me, and we'll like do what's on the card, but like kind of like a short little meditation
Okay.
thing.
Cool.
Oh, hell
Cool.
yeah. Let's go.
And then I always try to fly people out of state to play, so I can expose people to new music.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh,
But
smart.
yeah, with those shows, like I'll just like say like, hey, like I've been doing this and I've gotten booked, and just kind of tell your successes, kind of hype yourself up, because if you're
That's fair.
if you want
That's
to
what you're
do
supposed
it,
to do in
yeah,
your resumes.
yeah, and especially if you're doing a good job, like why not, like like use that to
Sure.
to boost yourself up, and yeah, like people, thankfully I've gotten a lot of opportunities, and people have been very receptive to the idea. And like Beacon, I do a lot of shows at Beacon, so I talked to Ashley, her name is Ashley, she's like the talent buyer / booking person,
Okay.
and yeah,
Shout out Beacon. Shout out Ashley.
yeah,
Shout out.
I love Beacon, love you.
That's cool.
Go, Ashley.
That's cool.
And yeah, a lot of people seem to believe in what I'm doing, so it's been
yeah.
very thankful, very grateful.
That's
for-
amazing.
for
That's
everything.
cool.
Fucking
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot from people. Is like, it's just like getting your foot in the door, and then like after that, if you actually are fucking showing up and being a sick artist, like people see that, and then they reach out, and then it just spirals from there and snowballs from there.
Yeah, and
So-
and social media too, like having a good social media presence, like having press photos helps a lot. Having like a link tree with like everything, so people can easily see your Spotify or your SoundCloud or whatever you're doing. Just making yourself accessible and look professional. I feel like when people have like, if you look at the big artists, they have press photos, they have all of this stuff. Like I always try to get, for the Dream House shows, I try to get a photographer. It's it's a lot of time and money, but
Sure.
it'll pay off. 'Cause
Right,
people see that.
Investment.
Yes, definitely.
yeah.
So yeah, just keep doing
Sure.
what you're doing, and eventually you'll get those bookings that you're looking for. Just believe in yourself. That's the biggest thing, and don't ever give up.
That
Fucking
does
go.
Let's go, Tanya.
that is
Yes.
having confidence.
Yes.
Even if it's fake, folks. That's why they say fake it till you make it.
Mm.
That is a real thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
people will buy that shit.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
100%.
It's-
Yeah.
If you don't feel confident, look like you're fucking confident. Like,
I mean, we know what we're talking about.
correct. Because I'm faking being confident right now. guys. Listen, you think this chain is real?
No.
It is fucking real. Okay.
That's
Fuck
right.
off my
and,
back.
And we do know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Excuse the F words.
Awesome.
Not
That's
really.
That's a great spot to end it. Little inspiration
Yeah.
for the people.
Where can
Yes.
people find you? It's Tasba Music on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. Tasba Music.
Okay.
Instagram. Honestly, I just have Instagram and Facebook. I don't, and I guess TikTok, but mostly active on Instagram.
TASBA music. @ in front of it or whatever, I guess.
No.
I don't know.
Put an
Nobody
@ sign in
knows
front of
that.
it, folks. You can do that yourself.
You'll figure it out.
Sweet. Well, thanks for coming on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is great.
That was so
you.
much fun.
It's fun to have you on for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit
notification.
Hit the follow button,
whatever.
folks. It helps us out. Give us a
all
5-star
the things.
review.
Next week we have the legend Cree, Dirty Disco.
Oh shit, he's back.
You guys, you're gonna wanna see that
That's
one.
going to be a fun one.